Taurus, what is up, guys? It is Cameron White here with White Light Astrology, giving you guys your monthly forecast for your sun sign. So, Taurus, what's going on in your universe? Well, let's start our way from the back and work our way forward. Uranus is going direct this month. It's going to be happening on the 3rd. This is happening in your 12th house. And so, Uranus and Aries happening in your 12th house, it's kind of like everything that's in your subconscious, everything that you haven't repressed, that you haven't really acknowledged, has kind of been coming up since the past 7 years. And as he moves direct through these last degrees and kind of goes over your guys' solar ascendant over and starts going into Taurus, goes over your guys' sun sign for the next 7-ish years, it's really just going to be this last wake-up call of what's really going on in your mind, going through the self-liberation, bringing up the things that you guys repress, bringing up the things you guys don't acknowledge, and finding this sense of liberation, finding this sense of inspiration and this power. And as Uranus goes through these last degrees, you're going to see a lot more power come to you guys. And he will retrograde a couple times from Taurus to Aries, and that's totally okay. That's just going to be a going back and, revisiting, what you guys have learned and what you guys experienced. But these last, few degrees as he moves direct, you're going to start to see a lot more of that internal action start coming forward. What you guys have been experiencing on the inside, what you guys have been releasing on the inside, especially through your subconscious and your unconscious mind, and the superconscious at that. You're going to start to see a lot bigger things start to come into play as far as your reality goes, because as it's been retrograde, it's been really happening on the inside, really finding these breakthrough moments and these benchmark moments within you. Could have been very high highs, very low lows. You could have been beating yourself up, bringing again the internal focus to you. However, as he goes direct, this is where you're going to start to see the inspiration to go out and start doing this and start moving forward with this. Saturn's moving into your 9th house. Saturn just went to your 9th house. Saturn and Sag has been crazy for you guys. It's been going through your guys' 8th house. It's been, like this whole world of emotions. And it's kind of like, someone kidnapped you and took you on the run for a while. That's what Saturn and Sag in the 8th house could have felt like. But as he moves into your guys' 9th house, this just happened here in December, but Saturn just moved into your guys' 9th house, where you got to start putting structure on your belief systems. What is, at the end of the day, what do you really believe? And you have these solid sense of beliefs. You have a really realistic way of looking at them, but it's time to implement them, and it's time to put them on the ground. And Saturn's going to challenge you guys as far as, what do you believe? And if you believe it, it will be created. So keep that in mind as far as, both in a very what's the word I'm looking for? Biased way, because it could come up negatively and it could come up positively. But whatever you guys are truly believing, it's really going to make manifest itself. And you may find yourself having to do things completely different, having to really structure your spirituality and the way that you kind of believe about the way life works. And you may have to structure that in a little bit of a different way in order to create the real results that you're looking for. And I think that's okay. This is going to be trining your sun, so it is going to be easier for you. I mean, you're a Taurus. You're a Taurus. You want things to be easy. You're tired of things going crazy. So I guess it's going to work for you pretty well. But keep that in mind. Jupiter is going through Scorpio right now. He is going through your, descendant, your 7th house. As Jupiter goes through here, this is bringing up all the beliefs you have about relationships, and the relationship you have with yourself, the relationship you have with other people, how you work within that. And the biggest thing I wanted to bring up, because this is going to be happening all year, so you'll hear me talk about this more, but Mars is conjuncting Jupiter this month, and he's also going into Sagittarius in your 8th house. And as Mars conjuncts Jupiter, you're going to start to see a lot more of the energy around relationships and what it is that your true desires are, not necessarily come to fruition, but become exposed. This is Scorpio energy of exposure, of transformation, of purging, of, getting to the bottom in order to see the light. And you're going to start to experience that with relationships. And as Mars conjuncts this Jupiter energy, you're going to start to see that action be taken in place. So keep that in mind as far as, where you're really attaching your energy, your intention, your drive. Notice where that's coming up. Notice who's taking place in those, in those factors, and what your truest needs are. As it goes to the 7th house, work with people on that. How can you really get exactly it is what you want by working with other people as well. However, Mars will then go into Sagittarius on the 27th, and this is when you're going to start to see the bigger transformation really come into play. When Mars enters your 8th house, especially in the sign of Sagittarius, it's kind of like Saturn was going through there, but Saturn was really restricting and made it hardcore. Like that analogy I made of someone like kidnapped you and took you on the run. This this is the same thing, but instead of being kidnapped, it's like your crazy best friend is taking you for a wild ride, and you just gotta go with it. But it is gonna be a little bit fun. You're gonna find a whole new world of experiences. You're gonna find a whole new understanding of what it really means to have faith and take action on that, regardless of what your circumstances look like. You know, you may want to feel liberated and just get out of it. Like, you know, Taurus can get so uncomfortable being vulnerable, and you're going to have to get a little bit vulnerable. This isn't really the biggest time to avoid it, but this is the time to realize it and move forward from it. Like, you know, whatever shitty spot you're at in your life, you know, take action to do something different. Take action to create the change that you're really looking for. And with Venus here, this is going to be pretty interesting, because Venus has been in Capricorn in your 9th house, or this is going to be starting, of course, here in December. However, as Venus moves forward in January, she'll be in your not your 8th house, your 9th house of Capricorn. She will be really emphasizing the part of your life that really wants to create something. Whatever that vision is that you have, whatever your beliefs are, again, you're putting a lot of value into that. You're putting a lot of faith in that. Venus is your investment of what you love. Where does you want to put your energy? In Capricorn, you're like, man, I want to be making some more money. This is the type of structure I want to make. This is the type of, you know, lifestyle I want to live. I want things to be easier. I want things to be simpler, because that's truly what I believe life is all about. And as Venus goes through here, this is the time to really, you know, have fun with that. Make it fun to actually create the changes that you want in your life, and really start establishing more of the materialistic aspects of what your beliefs are. Like, really start to materialize them. But as Venus goes into Aquarius and goes over your midheaven into your 10th house, this is where you're going to start to see that square. The sun will be squaring, your sun will be squaring Venus, and that's when it's going to get a little bit tricky, where you're going to be so open to creativity. You're going to be wanting to do all these different things after creating all this structure and having all this discipline and having, you know, all these great things happen to you. You're going to have this whole new world of opportunity, and it's going to make you feel a little bit more uncomfortable again. Going back into, you know, you're a Taurus, you want things to have, you know, structure, meaning, simplicity. You don't want to feel vulnerable. You want things to be very flow with and in harmony. However, as Venus goes into Aquarius, how can you still create that? You know, this is going through your 10th house, where you're going to be, you know, exposed in a way where you are feeling indifferent. You could feel alienated. You could feel isolated, especially with this Venus in Aquarius. However, you could also feel very feel very in alignment with your creative energy, with what it is that you want to express, with what it is that you want to share. How do you want to work with other people in that? There's a big time also when Venus goes into Aquarius is to be working with other people, working with groups, and, you know, really expressing what it is that you can do. So whatever it is that you're, like, especially career-wise, whatever it is that you're doing, how can you get involved with other people? How can you really blow this up into something that serves everybody else and that could also work with yourself? And so this will be squaring your sun, so you will have to get a little uncomfortable, but you're a Taurus. Like, get used to it. You're going to get uncomfortable. Heaven forbid you leave your house. But it's not really that big of a deal. Venus trining and then going into the square, you will feel the shift of like, oh, I'm having fun with this, and this is new. I'm going to have fun with it, but it's going to be a little uncomfortable. So keep that in mind. Mercury's direct going through your 8th house. Man, Mercury retrograde was fucked up. You probably saw some shit. You probably discovered a whole lot, been trying to either avoid it or really dive into it fully. However, as Mercury goes direct, this is the time to, again, take emphasis to all that. What does it really mean? What are you really doing with this? Everything that you've experienced, everything that's sensitive, everything that brings change into your life. What does that mean for you, and where are you channeling this? How is this helping you along in your path? Like, where are you really channeling this energy to really go down the right path that you want to go down? Venus will then go into Capricorn, into your 9th house. This is, again, the Venus in Capricorn aspect, the Saturn in Capricorn aspect of what structures do you want? You have these beliefs that you want. You have this feeling, this spiritual intuition, this passion, and you've got to create something with it. That's what this whole that's what your whole Capricorn 9th house is about, is really creating something out of what it is that you're passionate about, what it is that you really feel. As Mercury goes to this part of Capricorn and goes to this part of your chart, this is the time to really put that stuff into emphasis, really use that for your internal dialogue, really use that as far as communicating with yourself, you know, like, this is what I'm building, this is what I want, this is where I'm going, this is what I'm creating right now. and that's going to serve you so much, especially as Mercury goes into Aquarius later on the 1st of February, where you're going to feel a whole new world of creativity. You're going to start to see your mind go in places you haven't seen it go before. We're having a lot going on in 2018, guys. Just keep that in mind. We're having this full moon in Cancer. This is happening in, where is this happening at? In your 3rd house? Yeah, this is happening in your 3rd house, as well as the new moon happening in your 9th house. This is you fully understanding your emotions. As we jump into the new year and we have this full moon in Cancer, this is you fully understanding your emotions. You fully coming into terms. Ask the right questions right now. What are your needs? What do you need? Where do you need to be nurtured? Where do you need to be cared for? Where do you need more empathy? Where do you need more support? And, ask these type of questions and really bring that to fruition. Understand what that means. Understand what that looks like. Because as this full moon happens, it's going to be a really interesting part of your chart. However, keep that in mind. Ask the right questions as far as what are your needs? What are your wants? Where do you need more emotions? Where do you need, not more emotions, where do you need more emotional understanding? Where do you need more empathy? Where do you need more nurturing, especially? And this could, you're a Taurus, probably going to be a little bit emotional for you. Wish I could say it wasn't, but it is. But this full moon in Capricorn is really going to be, this is the full moon's happening when? On the 15th, 16th, around then. As this full moon happens, this is you taking that emotional understanding of what you just experienced and learning it and really coming to, full terms and grips with, what it is that your needs are. And this full moon in Capricorn is going to be helping you establish those needs. It's going to be helping you really set the intentions for, these are what your needs are, this is where you need to be nurtured, this is where you need to be cared for. What belief system do you need to have in place in order to create those and to have it come to fruition? So that's going to be a really, really big thing for you this month. Then, of course, the sun goes into Capricorn, goes into Aquarius. It will go into Aquarius on the 20th. This is where you're going to see a lot more, again, change come into your life. Aquarius is going to be opening up in the 10th house. So, again, what are you doing in your career? How are you working with other people? What kind of networks do you have? This is the time to really expand if you really want to expand yourself and do something with your career, do something bigger for yourself, really, hold yourself accountable for what it is that you're capable of creating. Put yourself in a bigger field. Put yourself in a bigger arena. Work with other people, Put yourself in a group or network with people, socialize, give back, do some humanitarian things. And, you're going to see a little bit of tension come with that because, again, you're going to be getting vulnerable. You are going to be getting out of your comfort zone. But, at the end of the day, that's how you got to grow. And a Taurus, you need to grow. Even though you want to stay the same, got to grow. So that's what I got for you guys. January is looking pretty interesting for you. Again, focus on what your needs are, focus on where you need to be nurtured, and take action, the truth. You know where you've been. You've been to the lowest lows, you've had the highest highs, with this Mars, and I'm talking about this Mars and Scorpio into Sagittarius energy of, if you really want to transform, you got to go. You can't stay in the same place you've been. A Taurus just wants, things to be easy sometimes. I shouldn't say easy, but just be comfortable and in their control. And if you really want control in your life, you gotta have to let go of it, and you're gonna just have to dive with it. So I see that being a really big factor for you guys as Mars hits Sagittarius and goes into your 8th house. But that's what I got for you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching all my videos. Super, super appreciate it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. And I'll be seeing you guys next month.